Is the PDP in River State falling apart? Is that what's going on right now? I don't know if you've heard, but the People's Democratic Party cancelled. He said security agencies have not adequate security. Let's take a listen to his thoughts on this development at the moment, and here we go.
Which council within the candidate and party haven't seen and evaluated the bodily harm and potential death threat that no law of law can be tolerated, accepted before, during, and after the presidential election, and agree with our principals on the need to cancel the rally to avoid any death, because the victory of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar does not deserve spilling of the blood of even one citizen of Rivers State.
Meanwhile, River State Governor Nyesom Wike says he's not surprised that the PDP Presidential Campaign Council cancelled the planned rally in the state. The governor said this at the PDP campaign rally in Akokotoro local government area yesterday.
I was told that they said they would come to rally in Port Harcourt in Rivers State. I was not shocked, I'm not surprised. Are you surprised? Everybody knows the truth. Some people go to Abuja, they apply to me, but they want to use as a careless measure stadium. I said, are you sure? Now, I said, okay, I'll give you the stadium. I'll give them the stadium. They know they have no capacity to fill the stadium. They are looking for excuses. They went and forced themselves to government land. I said, no, that was not where I gave you. Where I gave you is Adoke and Esmata. Go and fill that place. Then I said, no, I don't want people to die. Who's killing who?
All right, there you have it. What exactly is going on with the PDP in River State? Is it the beginning of the end of the PDP's dominance in River State? Well, we'll take a look at this cancellation and other related matters. I'll be speaking with Dr. Leluni Wipubasa, his spokesperson, PDP Presidential Campaign Council here in River State. He joins me in the 4 o'clock hour after the business news. Till 5, at 5 o'clock, we've got the news update. You probably, maybe, or you might know somebody else who is asking this question. Is my money safe? Is my money safe? I guess what? Your money is safe, as a matter of fact. I'm talking about money in the bank, by the way. Is my money in the bank safe? Now, here's a story from Leadership. No bank is closing down. That's from CIBN. Following some reports that some banks will be closed down and the rebuttal by the CBN, the Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria, CIBN, joined the Apex Bank in denying the rumors, reassuring that the banking industry in Nigeria remains very sound and safe. Now, the institute, while noting that the Apex Bank had debunked the insinuation and the plans to shut down some deposit money banks, said the soundness of the banking industry has been reaffirmed severally by the CBN, which is the only body best suited to assess the health of the financial industry in Nigeria. We equally like to allay the fears around a shortage of materials for printing the new Naira notes, which the CBN has also discredited. This has also been debunked in a widely circulated press release by the Nigeria Security Printing and Minting Company, which described the story as false, baseless, and misleading. So the CBN and the CIBN are saying that the banking industry, the finance is healthy. You should have no worries, no concerns about the safety of your money or whether or not your money still exists where it is. They say your money is fine, nothing wrong with it. Well, you may have some challenges accessing the money, but the money is still there. It's not gone anywhere. It's not going anywhere. The banks are not shutting down. Well, maybe closing down physical offices, as reportedly happened today as well. I do believe. We got reports that some banks shut some of their branches today. We'll take a look at this development in the 5 o'clock hour. And once again, you're welcome to join in as well. I'll be asking you, what is your confidence level in the banking industry at this time? I'd like to get a feel of your perceptions at this time. But I'll also be joined by Michael Ogba, CEO of Sitiamo Technology Limited, who will join me for that conversation as well in the 5 o'clock hour. After the updates, we've got headlines at 5:30 p.m. The major news comes up top of the hour at 6, and a review of all those matters, including my style comments, comes up after that. Till about 7, the show comes to an end. And once again, the sports gang are in for extra time. So that's the preview of today's show. If there are any changes, you will definitely find out. Simply stay tuned. And to get the conversation going now, how about today's side comments? But guess what? How many days to go? The countdown is on. How many days to go before the general election is upon us? Your responses, please, via WhatsApp on 0809 0306416. That's 0809 0306416. How many days to go before the general elections? And I hope you're as excited as I am about these elections. Are you going to go out there? Are you going to do something? Are you going to vote sensibly? Are you going to vote wisely? Once again, don't be like those persons who can't help themselves, who for whatever reasons want their village people to hear them on radio, and they call them to say that there's nothing you can do, Why they feel, once again, like I said yesterday, why they feel they need to share their despondency with the rest of the world completely amazes me. However, there's a lot that you can do. All right, there's so much you can do. Go out on election day, go cast your votes. All right, there's a lot you can do. So much. These elections, there's so much, hanging on these elections. The enormity is overwhelming indeed. You've got a role to play, and you have to play that role. The future literally depends on it. All right, moving on now. I'll get to the comments via WhatsApp shortly, but send them in once again. How many days to go before the elections? What's the countdown? But let's see. Side comments now. Random stories and random thoughts of mine on these random stories. River State Police Command says its operatives shot dead a suspected kidnapper while another was arrested during a raid of criminal hideouts in Donkey waterfront in Port Harcourt. A spokesperson of the command, Grace Iringekoko, disclosed this in a statement today and also said arms and ammunition were recovered from the arrested suspects. And that's a good thing. That's a very good thing. That's a fantastic thing, in fact. That's heartwarming news. It's good to know that the Nigeria Police... River State Command, the River State Command of the Nigeria Police Force is doing its job, is apprehending criminals, is confronting kidnappers, raiding criminal hideouts and getting them. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. However, CP Okong Effiong, the defender of rights, sometimes I wonder if that attachment is still, let's see. However, how many persons involved in electoral violence have we caught? How many of them have we been able to apprehend? Can Grace Iringekoko please release some statement on that, specifically on that, as to because after all of this, allegations of violence being meted out against opposition party members, supporters, and the candidates here in River State. The police always say they're investigating. What has been the result of these investigations? How many persons have been apprehended, arrested, have been questioned? What stage of the investigations are we at right now? How many persons have we charged to court? When do we intend to charge them to court? What steps are we taking as the River State Police Command to stem the ugly tide of election violence? All right, so it will be nice if there's a statement from Grace Iringekoko on that, or CP Kong Effiong will say something on that as well. That would be very nice also. It will be nice to hear that, And by the way, just a reminder to the River State Command of the police force. Doing your job as far as the elections are concerned, protecting our democracy and arresting and prosecuting those who want to engage in election violence and their sponsors is not just for Nigerians. I mean, besides the fact that it will help us elect credible leaders, which is a good thing, you're also protecting yourselves. If you allow the violence to go on unabated, I hope that we do not hear that on election day or some days to election, hoodlums attack the place and 2 policemen who were on duty there were killed as well. I hope. I don't want to hear that. I hope we don't hear it. I hope so. But if anarchy is allowed unabated, if anarchy is allowed to flourish, there is no telling whom it might consume. There's no telling. Anarchy does not look face, if you know what I mean. Anarchy does not ask you where you're from. Anarchy will not ask to see your ID card first before it consumes you. Anarchy knows no identity. It consumes anyone in its path. So let's all do the right thing right now. And that includes the River State Police Command as well, to ensure that we're all safe, including fine and gallant friends in the River State Police Command. Let's see, what else caught my attention on the news today? Was there anything else? I imagine there may have been. But I do have a commercial break coming up shortly, and I have to go for that in a bit. Alright, quick commercial break and return with the rest of the side comment and today's rant. Please stay tuned. Hard Facts will be back in a bit. It's going past 3 p.m. Still Hard Factor Nigeria Info, your number one talk station. I'm Dio, and let's talk. All right. So, still more side comments, random stories, and random thoughts that caught my attention as I checked out the news today. Let's see. I'm talking about the importance of. I mean, it can't be overestimated. Why that the police need to step up their game, and other security agencies as well. The police especially, in Rivers State, in Lagos State, in every state in the country. You can't allow yourself to be manipulated into allowing people to employ violence, because once again, by the time the violence grows and it gets bigger, it can consume anyone, including a police officer. Including a police officer wearing in his uniform, including a police officer with an AK-47 rifle. And I really hope, once again, I very much hope that we don't hear in the build-up to the elections, which is less than 2 weeks away. Next week Saturday. I hope that we don't hear any reports of people being killed. I hope we don't get any headlines that 2 police officers were killed yesterday or earlier today due to election violence. I really hope we don't get any such report. However, is it a likelihood? Yes, it is. Is it possible? Yes, it is. If we allow ourselves to be willing tools in the hands of politicians, especially those who want to employ violence. All right. So, to the question I asked earlier on, how many days to go before the elections? Let's see. I got several comments already. 11 days, Dio. Absolutely so. 11 days. 11 days, that's on Monday. 11 days. Hi, Dio. It's 11 days to go. I can't wait. I'm ready with my PVC. That's on Beauty. Beauty, that's fantastic. 11 days to go. 11 days to the presidential election. 11 days to go. CBI is standing page at that. Good afternoon, Dio. We have 11 days to the presidential election. Good afternoon, Di. 11 days to go from Hillary Finkak. Di, 11 days to go. Bivas waiting for the honorables. Oh, yeah. Bivas is waiting. Bivas has built his own structure and wants to show honorables that they have no structure at all. Di, it's 12 days remaining for the election. Di, 11 days left for us to be liberated. That's from Sammy. Good afternoon, it's remaining 10 days, 7 hours, 33 minutes. Okay, that's on Chima. Alright, okay. Alright, so 11 days to go. Once again, endeavor, make sure that you vote wisely. It's crucial to do so. So that's a wrap for today's side comment. A very, very, very quick break. When I return, today's rant comes up. Please stay with us.
As Nigeria prepares
6 minutes to go before 4 p.m. I'd like to rant for a bit. Sample in my mind of expressing some thoughts in it, and I'd like to get your reactions to that, if you will, till 4 as well. As always, I've got another reminder to do. The rants usually are, if not always are actually, They are a reminder of some sort, either to everyone or to you or to government or some department or agency of government or government agencies or government employees or politicians, as it were, Today's rant is another reminder that assurances alone are not enough. And specifically, a reminder to security agencies in the country that assurances are not enough. And here's what I mean. The Nigerian government generally have mastered the art of assurances. If assurances issued via statement were all that was required to make a country first world, to make it technologically advanced and advanced in every other way, to be a leading nation in the world, Nigeria will probably be ranking number one right now. For example, on every positive rating, say even GDP, for example, Nigeria will probably be number one. We would probably have the highest foreign reserve in the world as well. The highest life expectancy rate, the most safe and secure country in the whole wide world. If assurances were all that it took. Because Nigerian leaders know how to do that. They know how to give assurances, how they will assure that there's light, assure that there is water. We will give you, we will do it, we will build it, we will make it happen. We will turn around the fortunes of the economy. We will do this and we will do that. Assurances every time. We are on top of the situation. We are working on it. We are doing it. We are making it happen. We are going to do it. We are in the process of doing it. We have done it again. So assurances everywhere. However, remarkably and unsurprisingly, in spite of all the assurances, as far as the indices go, almost every negative indices you can possibly imagine, Nigeria is somewhere close to the top. Out of school children, unemployment rates, maternal or child mortality, insecurity, unsafe places, you name it. You name it. Almost every negative indices we're doing quite well, if you know what I mean. As far as in spite of all the assurances. So assurances alone are not enough. And yes, the security agencies have given yet another assurance. Here from Premium Time, story is captioned, Nigeria decides 2023, elections will hold in Southeast, military assures. Oh yeah, the military has assured it. Here's the story. The military on Monday assured Nigerians that the 2023 elections would hold peacefully in the southeast states and all parts of the country, despite threats by criminal elements. That's a good assurance. That's a good sounding assurance. Yes. That's a comforting sounding assurance, or even reassurance, if you will. Yes. Mm-hmm. That's a well thought out assurance. That's an assurance that people need to hear at this time to help them feel assured. Yes, indeed. But I can't help but wonder, where has the military been when there have been attacks on INEC offices across the same southeast? Several attacks, on INEC facilities and INEC personnel in the southeast, in the Anambra state, in the Enugu state, in Imo, I believe, as well. In other parts of the southeast, there have been several attacks, consistent, persistent attacks on INEC facilities in the southeast. I remember some weeks ago, a couple of months ago, there was a very unfortunate incident. A gory video was circulating online as well, where in the southeast also went to some location and shot people and killed some people, as a matter of fact, who were trying to get their PVCs and all of that. Where has the military been while all of this has been going on? Where has the police been? Where have they all been? Why didn't this assurance cover all of that? Or is the assurance just for election only? I mean, on election days and everything else that transpires before elections, can hoodlums have a field day? Can terrorists have a field day? Can those who want to kill people go ahead and kill them But election day, nope, we're going to stop them on election day. So it's a good assurance. Sounds nice. Chief of Defense Staff Loki Rabo gave the assurance in Abuja at the 25th edition of the President Buhari Scorecard Series. NAN reports that the edition featured Minister of Defense Bashir Mogashi, who presented a scorecard of the ministry. And responding to a question on the threat by Simon Ekpa-led faction of the IPOB to stop the elections in the Southeast Zone, Irabo said no person or group can stop the polls. Quote, the armed forces are working in concert with the police and other security agencies to ensure that the menace of criminalities from IPOB and Eastern Security Network are eliminated. End of quote. There has been an upsurge in security breaches in the southeast comprising Anambra, Imo, Enugu, Ebonyi and Abia states in recent past. So I asked the question again, are the assurances enough? And why didn't these assurances cover this security threat we're experiencing in part of the southeast lately? For months now, if not even some years now, there are parts of the southeast where they observe a sit at home on certain days, I think Mondays or so. Not because the federal government or even the state government or any government for that matter issued a public holiday or issued an order for business people or employees to stay home on Mondays, no, or on certain days of the week, no. But because some persons who have constituted themselves enemies of state, in my estimation, have insisted that people must not go to work, must not operate their businesses, and offices must shut down, and it has remained that way. Why didn't the assurance of General Loki Rabo, cover this as well? Why didn't the assurance cover this one? Why? At least Davido's assurance produced a Porsche. What has the assurance of General Loki Rabo produced really thus far? What has been the antecedent? What has been the story? What has been the narrative thus far? INEC offices being attacked, people being killed, compulsory sit at home, and people are afraid to go about their business because in the past when they did, some of them at least, they got attacked, people got killed. Now, I'm not suggesting that people in the southeast should not go out on election day to vote. As a matter of fact, I want them to. I hope that they are able to go out and exercise their franchise on the election day and carry out their civic duties. I hope they're able to do so. But the focus of my rant today is to remind General Loki Rabo and our other security chiefs that assurance alone does not cut it. Assurance alone does not cut it. Number one, if you want to build confidence in people and want them to come out on election day, they need to start experiencing that assurance now. In fact, they should have started experiencing that assurance before now. They can't be attacked randomly on most other days and then you tell them, don't worry, on election day, everything is fine. You are covered on election day. How about the days before the elections? And even then, what guarantees are there that on election day there will not be a problem? Now, yes, elections might hold in many places, maybe most places. But I hope we're not hear that in one polling unit, people were killed or there was a massacre of sorts. Conclusively, assurances alone are not enough. The people need to see that General Loki Rabo and his men have got their backs, and the criminal element who are bent on employing terrorists apprehended and brought to book. Assurances alone are not enough. On that note, I end my rant. Thanks for listening. Let's get your take of mine. Numbers the same. Lines open. Call 070 0923 093. That's 070 0923 093. We are live on facebook.com/NigeriaInfoPH. We're live on Twitter as well, at NigeriaInfoPH. Keep it brief and straight to the point. Hello, hard fact to welcome. Please go on.
Dayo, good afternoon.
Go ahead.
I'm Collins. I'm from the southeast. Dayo, I went to the village for the new year. In my village, those ungodly men came and told us that there is nothing like election here. It cannot be said in gossip me, I'm live and direct. We have the police station in my community. There's no police there anymore. So what is the assurance that they're talking about? The assurance in some areas there's no assurance. Now, if I have my voter's card to vote in my village, I will not go. Let me just tell you, because there's one policeman in my village. There's no one police in my village.
What village is that?
In Imo State, Mbano local government. One police station is not standing.
What is the name of your village itself? The village.
Ehime.
Okay.
In Imo State, Ehime Mbano. There is no police station in that village. If you have any problem now, you cannot go and call police. As I'm talking to you now, we have one police in a corner of our house, but there's nothing like that. You will not even see one poster in that community. You cannot do a political meeting in that community, and they're telling me assurance. Therefore, if you cannot even talk about election, you cannot even say it. If not, they will come for you. They are not hiding it. Thank you.
You're welcome. 9213, hello?
Good afternoon, Dayo.
Hi, go on.
Gabriel from Port Harcourt.
Go ahead.
Dayo, what assurance are we actually talking about? The assurance that on a grand election have not even started here in River State. All we have started seeing is attack on candidates who are going for campaign, attack on this other party or that other party. What is the assurance the security personnel involved in this jurisdiction called River State has to give us in the day of election that will have the confidence to come out and the boldness to come out and vote, cast our vote for who our heart is bleeding for. I just pray so that this coming election, we just have 11 days to go.
Yeah.
They should broken up their beds, have their seats broken up so that we can have a fair election in River State. Thank you so much, Dayo.
You're welcome. That's what we all want. We want elections. We want to the people just want to decide for themselves who's going to lead them. Why do excellencies have a problem with that? They always claim to love the people. It's the people. Okay, let the people pick for themselves. If you are so popular and people love you so much, as you claim, then let the people pick. Let the people decide for them. They will pick you after all. They love you more than they love themselves, more than they love oxygen, apparently. So let them decide. In River State here and elsewhere. Well, like I said, assurances are not enough. Hello, you're welcome. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon. I greet you. My name is Patrick Ikenna, calling from River State here.
Yeah, go on.
First of all, I want to sympathize with you. First of all, concerning the situation Arsenal is going through now.
There is no situation.
Eh?
There is no situation.
No. You understand? Every now and then, when you have always told us about Arsenal moment, and this time around, we don't hear about it anymore.
All right, you will hear about it after Arsenal beats City. Go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Okay. You see, the general have told us, he has given us an assurance of what is going to happen. Election will be held in his party. But let me also assure the general that insecurity is not only going on in the southeast. South, River State, attacks are going on, things are happening. We don't know what we may hear after now. And the general have not told us what the plan, the assurance for the south. The general has not also told us we have the issues of bandits in the north. A whole lot is going on in the middle belt in Benue. It looks as if there is no assurance for that area. Why is it so that the general is only particular about the southeast? Let him tell us the assurance he has for other regions of the P2B people were attacked in Lagos. And then you are not talking about all these. Was it not supposed to be that when there is campaign and rallies, the police is supposed to have mobilized and go to that place, make sure that everything is fine? And then you are telling us that on the election day, we should troop out in mass and come and vote, that you are going to do this, you are going to do this. That assurance for me does not hold water. Thank you so much, Dayo. You're doing a nice job.
You're welcome, Patrick. Let's get to your take. Still got some time to go before 4 p.m. Call 070-0923-0923. We're live on Facebook and Twitter at Nigeria Info PH. Hello, Hard Facts. Hi there, go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Go ahead, please.
I want to talk about the CBN governor's comment about clamping down on few of the operators who are charging higher.
Hello, hello, just a moment, if you can hear me. I'm not discussing that right now.
But what do you say? What you said about the condition in the country now? I think that shouldn't be addressed the situation so that this anarchy will not cause
Okay,
anarchy.
pardon me, that matter has not been discussed at this time. Hard Fact, you're welcome, please go on.
Dayo, good afternoon.
Hello, go ahead.
Yes, Comrade SPS outside on the line. Dayo, you know what? You know, all this, their assurance. No Nigerian person is a child. So we are no longer disturbed by the assurance, because that is type of assurance Okon of the Commissioner for Rivers State gave us when he came here. And up till now, he's still giving us false assurance. So their false assurance will not make people to do what they don't want to do. The people have sense. The only thing they will do is that when they come out that day on election day, especially on my side of Southeast, and they observe the situation of things, either they will decide either to go or they will remain. So the assurance cannot move them, because not that today that we begin to see or hear their false assurance. So for me, it's neither here nor there. So thank you. I rest my.
The Irant is only somewhat deliberately highlighting a fear of coming out on the election day to vote. You don't need to downplay the assurances of the army, and you also don't need to highlight fear in the minds of voters. No, I'm not trying to highlight fear. I mean, describing things the way they are is not an attempt to highlight fears. No, it's the reality. Did the attacks on INEC offices happen or not? Is there a sit at home in some parts of the southeast? I mean, these things are reality or not? Yes, they are. I want people to come out and vote. People need to come out and vote, but assurances are not enough. So if I talk about if there is a spike in kidnapping in Port Harcourt, for example, or if there's a spike in kidnapping in GRA in Port Harcourt, for example, and I come on air and I say that there is a spike, there's an increase in reports of kidnapping in GRA in Port Harcourt, and the police need to do something about that. Does it mean that I'm asking residents of GRA to stay in their homes and not come out again? That's not what I'm saying. But we must address it. We must speak to our realities and ask people who have a responsibility to do their jobs to actually do those jobs. You don't keep quiet about things that are not working because you don't want to highlight fears. As a matter of fact, when things are not working is when you ought to be loudest. So it's not an attempt to highlight. If I'm highlighting anything, I'm highlighting the problems that people are living with. That's what I'm highlighting. And I'm highlighting that these problems need to be fixed so that the people can live their lives, and perform their civic responsibilities. And that must be highlighted, as a matter of fact. If there's anything worth highlighting, it is that. For the children at home in the southeast shows that our government cannot provide for security to the people. The government are just protecting themselves. That's from Stephen. It's a real problem. It's our reality. It's what people live with. I know people whose businesses have suffered in the southeast because of the sit-at-home situation. That's the reality. Do we keep quiet about it because we don't want people to be afraid? No, somebody is suffering already. That has to be addressed. It's his reality, and it's the reality of many people as well, whether it comes up on radio or not. Anyways, I got a commercial break now. I'll return shortly. Please stay with us.
Nigeria Info. Right back after this.